I want to talk to you about this. I'm sure you've seen it, but we can't do an episode of Left Reckoning and not talk a little bit about the continued dumpster fire that is the Democratic Party. Did you see this political piece about some of the brightest minds in the Democratic Party? We talked about our boy James Carville
Mm.
last week. Um,
I didn't see this, but I'll just preface it by saying the polling is very interestingly different than it was 8 years ago when the Democrats had been shocked by Trump the first time. Nancy Pelosi and like the Democrats generally were still seen extremely positively.
yeah,
I think that's in part because of the popular vote thing, maybe, and just like it was an earlier time in the history and people were less illusioned with
hmm
Democrats. And they'd done even slightly less things to really abuse people's confidence in them. But people are the Democrats are less popular than the Republicans right now.
Yeah, I know, and I think that that's a really important point here. And what's really crazy is I think they recognize that. Obviously, they're getting the polling, but what they're planning to do, I don't think is going to do very much for fixing this problem. So this is from Politico playbook that basically got the main takeaways of this big kind of exclusive Democratic Party retreat for campaign staffers and large consultants for the Democratic Party. And here are some of the brilliant ideas that they have, Matt, for how they can regain from their losses under Trump. One, the party should embrace patriotism, community, and traditional American imagery. This is one of my favorite ones that you get from Democrats whenever they're feeling a little sheepish and soft. That if they just wear more flag socks and have a little bit more red, white, and blue in the background, they're going to somehow win. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, short of like hugging the flag, do you really feel like there's a big difference when it comes to doing like super patriotic things at a Biden or Kamala Harris rally versus a Trump one?
I mean, Liz Cheney, like, is that
Country
part of this?
over party was the fucking slogan of
Right.
Kamala Harris, and everybody hated it. Everybody thought this is a dumbass, slogan, except for these people. Um, So again, hey, we got to do the same thing that we've been saying we should do. Next, Democrats should ban far left candidate questionnaires and refuse to participate in forums that create ideological purity tests and move away from the dominance of small dollar donors whose preferences may not align with the broader electorate. What we need to align ourselves with the big donors. We need to align ourselves with APAC and Raytheon and the War Caucus, not with these normal people who are so engaged in politics that they are going to throw their money behind candidates who talk about things like Medicare for all, higher wages for workers.
David, did you know that there was a far left candidate questionnaire problem? That is something I fucking wish I saw more of.
Well,
The Republicans, their whole thing leading up to Trump was about abortion and taxes. Like, and the no Grover Norquist pledge. Like,
mhm,
I
mhm.
don't know. Like, what are these questionnaires?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what they are, Matt. The questionnaires they come from, for example, organizations like DSA or the Working Families Party, right? So to get like a DSA endorsement, you send a questionnaire to a candidate, and they send them out, sometimes to multiple candidates, or like we'll accept them depending on each chapter, right? Um, you um, so this is 100% aimed at DSA and also I think at the Working Families Party, which
So
again.
if you're a candidate that responds to that, you're banned from the party.
Well, this is what's interesting about it, right? Because this is one of the weaknesses of the Democratic Party, and the American party system in general. Is like they can't actually like kick you out. You can run in the primary for these positions. So what kind of discipline they're talking about here is kind of interesting. I'm sure what they're saying is like for those people. Look, on any kind of insurgent running, they won't probably accept these dogmatic ruling. But what they're saying is that like, hey, even having an association with these kind of organizations, you're going to get into trouble with the rest of the party. I know it's bonkers. And again, these are the candidates and folks who did better. Remember, AOC, as Trump is winning in New York City, which I don't think people. It drives me crazy how like this doesn't like work people up. Trump was able to like do better than ever in New York, right? Which should be a place that the Democrats just walk away with every single time. The candidates that were doing better than Kamala were people like AOC, right? And you saw this, in many elections that happened on election nights. We're not talking about the primaries. We're talking about on election night, where you saw these massive drop offs of Democratic voters who are voting for the Republican Party, who split their ticket between Trump and these folks. So I don't know. Maybe they should be asking those folks what's working for them. Next one is they should push back against far left staffers and groups that exert a disproportionate influence on policy and messaging.
Again, who are they talking about? Like, I could probably name a few people. Like, what just he worked, the guy who said every billionaire is a
Yeah.
policy problem, don't hire him.
Yeah. Who
It's so
worked for
myopic.
AOC, you know?
Yeah.
Candidates should get out of elite circles and into real communities called tailgates, gun shows, we got to go to more local restaurants. People think, I don't know, just like so fucking out of touch. That's like a crazy out of touch thing. It's like,
it's wild. I mean, that's Gastella had that piece about the fall of religion. Like, it used to be you go to like churches and some other places. Now it's like, I guess we'll go to Texas Roadhouse.
And last one is the party, yeah, which is actually, that's actually a good point, Matt. That's so like that is out of touch. They should be going to more places like Texas Roadhouse and less of like the craft brewery bistro right in town. Right, they got to go to like the Olive Garden. Actually,
well, that's the thing is like it's so like double dealing, because like it's like, oh, everyone aspires to go to the sweet boutique, like you say, brewery, but also the Democrats, like, it's like the problem of Trump in McDonald's. Like, the Democrats love to be next. They like the entrepreneur more than like the person who works bottling.
No, I mean, they need to have more dinners at the French Laundry, right? Supporting these local restaurants. And the last one is the party needs to own the failures of democratic governance in large cities and commit to improving local government. So basically, to win is accept whatever it is that the Republican Party is saying about you whole cloth, and kick out the more popular and engaged parts of the party, and bring in more of the corporate donors. Look, I mean, this is a party that I really, it would be wonderful if this is like the last cry of these folks, because they have done tremendous damage to the nation and to the globe.